Hi, I'm Drea. My brother Hans had a kidney transplant. We learned as a family what kidney failure meant physically for Hans. However, for our family, it also meant a complete lifestyle change. It was a huge financial burden for my family, and it was really mentally draining for my parents, especially. I was only 15 at the time, so I didn't quite grasp the severity of Hans's sickness and Hans's situation. And with that, my parents had to really kind of play a double role in caring for Hans during this time, but also, tending to my needs and, giving me the attention that I craved at 15, trying to, capture their undivided attention. Some of the best resources I used to learn about kidney disease really was kind of just Hans's situation and living through that as a family member. Like I said, I was 14, 15 when everything initially started with his dialysis and the hunt for a donor. So, it wasn't like I sought out additional information or kind of went internet searching to learn more about it. It was really just the in-person, real life, firsthand experience. Hans's dialysis schedule meant that we had to change all sorts of plans because he was really kind of confined to that schedule. It also meant that we had to change our eating habits because Hans had to stick to a really rigorous eating diet. And there was a lot that we couldn't do. My family growing up traveled a lot, and Hans couldn't travel because if he traveled, it meant he wasn't in dialysis. And if he wasn't in dialysis, he was jeopardizing his health. So we really had to adapt our lifestyle to tend to Hans's needs and, just kind of make sure that he was healthy and getting better and progressing. Hans and my family pretty much immediately considered a living transplant because his time was so limited to find a donor. So we were instantly on the hunt. I remember running a blog and writing about it. And my mom was sending out emails frantically to anybody and everybody who, she had contact with. So we were really determined to find him a transplant as soon as possible. When Hans considered kidney donation, our family got really involved really fast. My mom, number one, in doing that, she was really proactive in talking to anybody and everybody about it. All of our family friends, people she had just met, like she was so powerful in engaging conversation about it and really making a point to spread the word as best as she could. Being that this was 10 years ago, social media wasn't as big as it is now. So really everything was word of mouth. Everything was email. Everything was phone calls, even text messaging. So there was a lot of effort put into it. As I said, for me, I would blog about it because I love to write. So being able to write about a way to help my brother was a no-brainer for me. The day of Hans and Angela's surgery, everyone was feeling definitely nervous. I think you just, you've waited so long for a moment that's about to change somebody's life, and then it's there. But we were all very hopeful. We were all very excited. I know Hans couldn't wait to eat his pizza again. I know my family couldn't wait to see him thriving and healthy. I know I couldn't wait to have my brother back and be able to, go out with him anytime and not have to worry about his dialysis schedule or if he was physically able to do that or not. So it was a very mixed emotionally day, but it was a success. So it was really joyous. When we learned that the surgery was a success, we all celebrated so hard. The first thing we did was get Hans a pizza, because if you ask him, he will never say no to a pizza. So we got him his own big pizza, and it was such a happy day. Angela was doing great. Hans was loving his new, first hour of his second life. And my family was just really at ease because again, something that we had been working towards and for so long happened without any complications. And it was a really cool and gratifying feeling. Because of this surgery, Hans was able to be there to meet the love of my life. Hans will be able to be there for the wedding to the love of my life. Hans was able to see, me build my business. Hans was able to be there to explore all sorts of different areas with my family. Hans was able to see so much more. He was able to pursue his music. He was able to, work toward, he was able to marry his love of his life. And how cool is that? He never would have seen that if this transplant never happened. It has now been nearly a year and a half since Hans's surgery. Today, our family life is a little turbulent because in July of this year, on the month of the 10-year anniversary of Hans's transplant, his kidney began to reject. So we're back at square one, trying to find a donor who can give Hans yet again a second chance at life. So our family life is a little difficult right now, but the search continues. We are all very dedicated to finding Hans another donor and being able to let him fulfill his life. Looking back, being a family member of a recipient and a family friend of the donor would be a lot different. There were many times when I didn't quite understand, why so much attention was gravitated towards Hans, or, kind of why, my parents were gone a lot, or just little things that I couldn't comprehend. Whereas now I have so much knowledge and education on the process and the reasonings and the whys and the hows that I would definitely do a lot more too. This time around, since we are on another search for a donor for Hans, I'm definitely more proactive in reaching out and not being afraid to kind of, tag some people here and there and just say, hey, is there any way you're able to help out? So it would definitely, I think, be a lot more, for me, supportive, because I would understand a lot more. The best advice I could give for a family member of a recipient would be to be there, to be supportive, to check in, not just on the recipient, but on the family as well, because everybody is involved in a process like this. Also to advocate and promote and share wherever you can, help out however you can, whether that's, testing to be a tissue match, or just sharing on social media, or donating financially if you're able to. Just the overall support, just really checking in on everybody and just kind of seeing how everybody's doing and, sending well wishes. It really does help.